Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Day before yesterday, many people were died in the temple of Kerala. In spite of being in temple, they died. So my question is that sometimes why is God so cruel?
Sometimes why God is so cruel? People are dying not just, in a temple, but people are dying every day, everywhere, outside of the temple also. Now, if, directly this question is asked that anybody dying anywhere, for any reason, and if this question is asked that why God allowed this to happen? Well, then the question is, what about so many people who are saved from the jaws of death? Then God becomes a supremely merciful, kind person? Because, so many people we see that, doctor said that, I know so many of our devotees, doctor said that, well, beyond repair, nothing can happen. And I was in this place, Manchester, some years ago, and I met with this one person. His father, his ailing father, elderly, was having a disease which was kind of incurable, and the doctors had given up, and it appeared as if that, no hopes and few more months. They went to such an extent that they planned out the funeral, that how the funeral would be, which means that's how sure they were about his dying. The funeral was planned, what will be the expenses, who will be called, and everything. And the father is still living. It's been 2 years. So sometimes we find such examples that people who had no hopes of living, for whatever reason, and they survive. An earthquake, a massive earthquake, and after 1 week or 2 weeks, you find a baby still alive under the debris. So the question is that what are we doing in order to create situations in our life which makes such things happen? Like I give this example that, God created, we are living in Nasik, so this example will be very much relevant for all of us to understand. God created fresh grapes. That's the fruit of Nasik. God created fresh grapes for us to consume. What did we do? Especially here in Nasik. We took the fresh grapes given by God, turned them into stale grapes, and then made wine out of it. So many wineries here in Nasik. And then alcohol and all of that, making out of fresh grapes which God has given. And then people, they consume all of that alcohol and liquor, and they destroy their systems inside, their liver and everything. And then, when, they are totally destroyed from within because of all of that alcoholism, then if somebody says, why God was so cruel that he gave those grapes? Areba, he gave the fresh grapes. What did you do with those grapes? So similarly, just like fresh grapes, God gives us a fresh life. Every life which is born, in fact, every day is a fresh day for us to rectify our situation. So if we take this example that we own, we ourselves as a creation and the creation around us, it's like the fresh grape given by God. We, because of our mischievous nature, what we do, we try to make it stale, decompose, decay it, and then we make whatever all those nonsense stuffs of it. We think that is enjoyment. And then when the consequences come, we are not ready to take the responsibility for the consequences. And then the blame game starts. Then the finger goes up. So, rather than playing that blame game, why don't we follow and become the cooperator? God appears to be cruel. He is not cruel at all. If He really wanted to be cruel, right now, we wouldn't be able to even breathe. People who blaspheme Him, people who criticize Him, even to them, He is giving them all the food, all the water, all the air, everything is given to them. Who could be more merciful? You show me one gentleman and who has been blasphemed and criticized, and every day he keeps providing all the necessities to the blasphemer. So I would say that who could be more kinder than God? That if He can give all the necessities to the person who criticizes and blasphemes Him, what to speak of someone who wants to be on the right path, on the godly path? So remember the example of grapes, that we all have our fresh lives given by God. We just have to become the cooperator, not the competitor. Hare Krishna.